Living lectures connecting to
Good morning,
success.
good afternoon, or whatever time it is, wherever you are now. Today, I thought I should talk to you about hard times and decision making. And I frame it thus: no matter how hard it is for you, you just have to make a decision. No matter how hard it is, you have to make a decision. And I want us to start by looking at the words of Flora Whitemore. Flora Whitemore is some lady I've read about, and I like what she says. I like her quotes. Flora says, "The doors we open and close each day decide the lives we live. The doors we open and close each day decide the life we live." And so I can say that though loaded with desire and energy to succeed, in my particular case, at one moment I was not moving things forward towards my dreams. That it was sad for me, but you can imagine that was the situation at the time. So, one time back I worked for a UN agency, UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund. After 3 years of dedicated service, I founded a non-governmental organization, and so from that moment got into the whole business of managing development projects. I must tell you, things started off so well. Projects were flowing in, things were happening, and I was creating contacts. But just 2 years later, I got bitter with myself. A lot of things came in. I started discovering the funding climate in Cameroon that is not very favorable. I was so tired of the way NGOs are treated, looked upon as rivals, or some undercapacitated people who can contribute any major thing to the growth of the country. And trust me, with almost everything else, I had a problem. I saw a problem in everything. So the bottom line was that I just decided to abandon all and withdraw into myself. Believe you me, that was the easiest decision I ever made, but honestly, one that brought me the greatest pain I have ever had to live, and of which I can't advise any other person to go through. I would spend days shuttling between my bedroom and my sitting room. For weeks, I would not get as far as my balcony. And guess what? The bills were rising by leaps and bounds. House rents, utility bills, medication, school fees for children, and the list went on. As a matter of fact, my lovely wife did all to motivate me to search for a new job, and she got tired herself. She brought in my family to help. At one moment, she contacted my pastor and even brought in some friends who talked to me, and some even insulted me at some point for turning into some good for nothing man, All of that, in a very funny way, did nothing to spur me up. It was an increasingly grievous situation I found myself in. Indecision, pain, just dissatisfaction, demotivation. At one point, it dawned on me, one morning specifically, as I began, to rethink things over, that the time to make a decision had come if I still wanted to live what could be called a life. Especially as I could not believe the deplorable situation I found myself in at that moment in time. So it was really a difficult moment. Then, in my search, in my rethinking, in my introspection, I came across the words of Wilfred A. Peterson. Peterson is somebody I've read about too. I read a lot. His words came back to me, and this is what he says. He says, decision is the spark that ignites action. He says, until a decision is made, nothing happens. Decision is the courageous facing of issues, knowing that if they are not faced, problems will remain forever unanswered. You see, when these words came back to me, I was really, kind of rekindled. I was motivated. I was poised once again for action. I told myself, okay, now, this is the time to move things forward. I needed to make a change. So from that instant, I must tell you, it seemed as though the doors of opportunities were suddenly opened. I felt as though Providence suddenly took over from there on. I affirmed to myself, using the words of another person I read about, Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is a motivational speaker and writer. You see, I went back to what he said once. It doesn't matter which side of the fence you get off on sometimes. What matters most is getting off. You cannot make progress without making decisions. So you see, everything was boiling around decision making. So I told myself, wow, why not get to action? And behold, a few months later, I was back on reels. And on the way to getting out of indebtedness. That's the point. However, it was not as if all of my troubles were written off at that particular moment, no. But I was able to tell myself courageously that even if I made the best decisions possible with the information I had at the time, I still have to reconsider my choices from time to time. Because, life, as I came to realize, is about change. And if we talk about change, there is then a need to manage that change, and that's how you grow. So, my dear people, from this experience, one fact remains for sure. Whether you need to decide on quitting, as I almost did, try to take a step back and objectively ask yourself if you are quitting for the right reasons. That's where it is. The right reasons. Are you quitting for the right reasons? I'm not sure. I was about quitting for the right reasons, and that's why I came back and took things into control again. And if there are more rewarding opportunities for you there, you might want to give your life more meaning by making the hard decision to restart again. Actually, for me, it was a kind of restarting all over. And I'm glad I did, because since then, things went for the better. So there are times when you think you've come up to the end of the road, where everything is blocked. But, going through this introspection, rethinking, researching, seeking support and advice, you find yourself once more on rail and moving towards the big goals you've set for yourself. So this is what I thought I could share with you. And of course, knowing that last Monday we didn't have our regular talk as always. So I'm promising to get back to the topic we have discussed last week, this coming Monday. So be sure that at 5:30, at 5 o'clock West African time, I'll be on live, and we'll be talking about going the extra mile. What is it all about? How can it help you? And why should you go the extra mile? So catch you next week, Monday, for that interesting topic. And from my end, I say have a nice time till we talk on Monday. Bye.